So, if I haven't had a chance to meet you, I'm Kirk Phillips, and I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee. And the Globetrotters is relatively new to me, although being a jiu-jitsu nomad has been a dream of mine forever, okay? So last year was my first camp, and I'm back this year. I can't believe I'm on the board. I'm so super stoked that you're here for this class. I can't wait to share with you what I have. I'm going to be covering the ghost escape, which is an escape from bottom side control, where you really do a vanishing act on your opponent. So let me share a couple things with you before we start. One is, I'm a collaborator, okay? So when I teach the ghost escape or when I practice it, and where's Aaron? Aaron, raise your hand. You back there? Aaron and I, there he is right there. We were working on this escape a year ago at class. And so, okay, I'm a slow learner, but I would tell you this, I've been down the bumps, the lumps, and the grinds on the ghost escape of figuring out what works and what doesn't. I tell you that for a couple reasons. The first one is because I'm a collaborator, I like to go off and have people say, well, what if I do this? Well, what if I do that? Because I know that's the first thing on your mind, right? Well, that's a good thing, and I'm one of the people that embraces that. But in this setting, with only an hour, it's difficult to go down some of those pathways, okay? However, I would tell you that I'm available to you. I'm very approachable. You can come see me anytime. We'll go to an open mat. We'll go down all the roads you want to go down to. I'm here for you, bottom line. And also, I would tell you, because I've hit those lumps and bumps and got my ears bigger over the last year, right? I hope to put you on a magic carpet ride, Super Express Highway to the ghost escape, so you won't have to have ears like mine in a year from now. Cool? Okay. So the ghost escape. What if I could show you a way from bottom side control with top shoulder pressure that you didn't have to bridge, you didn't have to shrimp, and you could just vanish from your opponent from beneath them? Would that be a good tool to add to your arsenal? So that's what I'm here to bring you. Fair enough? All right, I'm going to start. Joey, are you here?
I am.
I'm going to have Professor Joey Carter help me, okay? We're going to start out right away, and we're going to do a drill, okay? It's not the ghost escape in its entirety, but let me share this with you. We're going to start with the best case scenario, and then we're going to work to the worst case scenario when you have a monster with heavy shoulder pressure on top of you. So let's start with the best case scenario. The easiest way to hit it is right away, right before they sink in. So I just want to show you a drill we're going to do right here, and it looks something like this. Let's say that he's trying to pass my guard. Generally speaking, he's going to pass to my right, if he's a right? That's just what happens. Well, what does he want from me? He wants this underhook, right? He wants the underhook. If I get the underhook, he would say I have the advantage, right? So what if I gave him the underhook, and he also doesn't want to fight all my frames, right? So what if I dropped all my frames, gave him the underhook, and just front underneath him and came up to my knees? So that's the drill. Now let me give you a couple tidbits or golden nuggets that will help you get the mechanics of that down. One is, when he comes, this leg has to be on the side, right? So I drop my defenses, I give him the underhook, my arm goes underneath, I might push off his waist, I have to clear my head and then turn my hips over. And I turn my hips over by pulling on this arm like an arm drag. Here, that's what gets me to the top. Does that make sense? Can you see it again? Yeah? All right, Jeannie, here it comes. My leg's on this side, I drop my defenses, here he comes. Right back to my knees. Everybody good? This is what I'll do. 1, 2, clap. Ready? 1, 2. All right, let's drill it. You don't have to come in too tight. Maybe I can share with you what I have from right here or where you're at. But I'm going to give you 2 other tips that'll help you come out and get to the top better. One is your head has to be free for you to turn your hips over. And you have to turn your hips over in order to get to your knees. Okay? So when he passes, if I come here and I stay flat on my back, I can't get to my knees. So you might I'm going to pull this arm and take a big step that gets me here. But if you try to do that with your head still underneath me, I can't do it, right? Can't do it. So you got to clear the head and take a big step. Let's drill it just a little bit more. 1, 2. You know, we can always polish it up, right? Make it better. So sometimes I don't always articulate everything that I'm doing. And one is I'm doing a powerful spin because I'm not only pulling on this arm and spinning, but sometimes I cheat, right? And I push off. And then I take my big step and go. But see where my right hand is? So when I clear my head and I come out, I got to get up. I might as well use my right hand to help me as well, right? So I arm drag, I come up, and I'm using this hand, and I'm actually grabbing a chin strap on him for a cool submission later. But it also helps you get to the top, right? You go here, I can wrap, arm drag, and pull. All right, a little more drilling. 1, 2. Everybody getting the rhythm of that, getting the mechanics down. Kind of slick, isn't it? That's kind of like the cream or the icing on the cake at sometimes, right? Because if you can hit someone with it early, you're gone before they know it. You've already ghosted them. I've been ghosted. Yeah.
When we're spinning out, like, is it bad to have too much momentum, or do you want to slow it down and then do that big step? Like, does that matter, or are you trying to just get out of there?
I don't know that you can have too much momentum. Now, at my age, you don't ever get enough momentum. Right? So that's hard for me to calculate. But what I would say is, the more momentum I get and the harder of an arm drag I do on my opponent, the better it is for me, because I'm going to break his base down when I come around to the top. So I would say momentum is a good thing.
You're gonna end up doing this with speed, right? So when we're drilling, right? So if Kirk comes around, like the whole thing isn't to do this slow. I want to get out of dodge, right? Like I'm setting myself up for failure right now on purpose. Does that make sense? Like I'm giving him the advantage. If we're doing real stuff, I'd rather, we're taught this. So when I'm here, elbows pinching, hand comes underneath, thumb pointing that way, because this is where I'm going to go. Right? So when I'm doing this, it's not super slow. It's, you get what I'm saying?
See, he's a little younger than me.
Does that make sense?
No,
Yeah.
But it's a good point. So to that end, right, with momentum and coming up to the top, now that's best case scenario. That's when we hit him early, but it gets progressively worse, especially if you give up position and they pass you and now they're in top side control. Flatter me for a minute and let me just give you a little bit of philosophy, okay? And none of this is mine. I steal it all from other people. Chris Payne probably isn't here, but I stole something from him. He talked about if I'm a righty or a lefty. In most cases, we're righties, and if we're here trying to escape bottom side control, we're taught to get to underhook and to bridge and to shrimp. First of all, those are taxing, especially for an old guy. They cost a lot of energy, right? And those are powerful movements. But not only that, I'm a righty. Look at my right side of my body. I have nothing to fight with. I have very little to fight with here, right, to get up. It's my left side that's doing the work. Bridge and shrimp. It's all the left side of my body. But if he's on top of me, it's the right side of his body, if he's a righty, attacking me. If he's bigger than me, he has the advantage of being on the appropriate side to attack, and I'm fighting with my weak side. All the odds are against me, right? So, without bridging, without shrimping, we're gonna escape. And it looks something like this. Joey, I'm gonna do it just solo for a second. So, normally when we bridge, like we have our feet close, our toes turned the direction we're going, right? What if I just walked this foot this way and then canted my hips? It's gonna create an opening right here along his waist for me to slide my arm underneath, turn my body, and come out, right? So no bridge, no shrimp. I guess you could call it a shrimp. Joey, can I borrow you? So you want to watch this pocket that I create. I better let me talk about the pocket. Then I'm going to talk about the danger of this arm. So watch how I create this pocket. I just move my hip. Now look, it doesn't matter if I was going elbow knee, look how easy that is, right? Because I'm canting my hips. That's the key. So I cant my hips, it creates this space. Now I can pass my arm through, right? Let's talk about the dangers of this arm for a minute. Like he was saying, we're taught from the beginning, have this underhook, fight from here. Oh, that really stinks for an old guy. I'm just saying, that's a lot to deal with if I'm gonna go to my knees, elbow, knee, whatever. That's hard, right? We're actually taking the overhook position. This is the overhook, but I can't do this carelessly because he can armbar me. He's got me. I'm giving him my extremity. So I just need to be aware of that. Let's turn this way a little bit. I'm going to show you a couple tricks I use so he can't attack that arm. I'm going to connect it to him. I'm going to weld myself and close the space. By canting my hips, I tighten up on that arm. I might even grab this little pocket of material right here. And now, if he tries to armbar me or raise up, I've got it. If he were throwing punches, he'd have to raise up. When he raises up, you go. So what you want to do is give him the sense that that arm is now mine, right? If he raises up, you just go. But what I'm really trying to do is to create this pocket so I can get my elbow past his waist. That's the key. Elbow has to be past the waist. So let's do that much. All right, let's do this. Start in bottom side control. He's got pressure on you, whatever. Control this arm. Cant your hips. Create space. Watch. Palm down. Slide it right along his waist until your elbow passes his waistline or his side of his body. Cool? Any questions?
Question. Is your palm going up on his back like this, or just when you get the elbow out?
We're going to get to that, I promise. We'll get to that, what you do with your arm once you get it out. For right now, if you would just make sure that your elbow passes the border of his body, it's super important, and we'll get to the arm next. Cool?
Cool.
1, 2. I think the weather cooperated a little bit. It's not murderous in here. And Aaron's hooking us up with the fans back there. All right, so a couple more tidbits. Let's polish it up a little bit, right? You asked, what do you do with the hand when you come out, right? Here's a golden nugget for you. Just telling you. It's not my golden nugget. I stole it from somebody else. When you get here, and now my elbow is past the waist, well, let me show you something. If I was to do an underhook on this side, we're taught to straighten this arm and move him, right? And the ghost escape is a little bit different. Watch my face. Let's turn this way, Joy. Watch what happens to my face if he has shoulder pressure and I straighten my arm to move him. I load his weight onto my head and it makes it hard for me to escape. Here's the golden nugget. Put your elbow high, this elbow high, and this hand low, and use your shoulder to move him, to move myself and to move him. If I use a straight arm or try to push this way, I'm loading the weight on my head. Don't ask me why, but if I turn my arm, make the fulcrum here, my hand is down in his armpit, my elbow goes high, I can just slide right out. Cool? That's what you do with the hands. 1, 2.
Kirk, can you show it again from a different angle?
Let's show it one more time over here. Oh, can we? Sorry, guys. So if I use a straight arm, if I use a straight arm, I load his weight onto my head. So instead I go elbow high, hand low. And I kind of rotate my arm. Right? Get past the waist. Elbow high, hand low. Come on. 1, 2. Anybody running into any kind of challenges? Thank you, Aaron. Is anybody running into challenges? Okay, so it gets worse, right? Because there's people out there that are bigger than the professor is, right? All right, Big Brandon, where you at? Looking for Big Brandon. Well, there he is. Yeah.
Get out of your way.
Monster from Knoxville, trust me. Have you had a chance to roll with him? Yeah. He's a monster. Yep. All right, so I'm going to demonstrate what happens when you're 58 years old and you have a younger monster on top of you. How you can still work this move. And it kind of goes along with what you were saying and what Paul was saying. A little bit different, though. So Big Brandon comes in and gets ideal position on me, right? So he's close, he's shutting off the space, but I managed to get my arm through, right? If I get my arm through, that's the key. Go back. So we're here. I can't, maybe even put my knee in, because he's Big Brandon. I get this here, and he cinches down on me, like Big Brandon. Watch this. No more Big Brandon, right? But the key is, all you got to do is stomp your feet, lift your hips, and move just a couple inches at a time. Even if I move 1 inch, I'm cool with that because it's Big Brandon, right? So bear down on me. Come on, give me some shoulder. I'm out. 1, 2. We got about 15 minutes left. We could cover a cool submission, but most people are in no-gi. We can still do that. Or I would probably prefer to give you, how about I just show you the submission, we don't cover it, and then let me show you the number one counter, what people are going to do to you and how you can overcome that. Cool?
Yes.
So I'm just going to show it real quick just so you can practice it on your own at home sometime, right? So I'm here, and I come out. Hey, look, see me cheat? Sometimes I push off them, right? But look where my hands are. Anybody know what I'm in position for? I grab the head to come up. What am I in position for? I'm right here, right? It's so simple. Okay? So practice that one at home. We don't have time. Let's do the counter. This is what Joey's going to do to me when I try to ghost him. I'm gonna start to ghost him. I'm vanishing, and he feels it coming. So he's gonna go to K7. He's gonna crush this side. And I'm cool with that. Because I'm gonna grab his waist, come up here, walk away, paper cutter. I'm here, I start to clear, he feels me slipping away. I can grab here, or I can grab here. I like this because it's right into a paper cutter. But that's what's gonna happen. I'm telling you, they're gonna lower that waist, and they're gonna go paper. Clear my elbow, he doesn't like it, he doesn't like it. There he goes, boom. Back on top. Questions?
Get it from the other side.
Other side. I clear my elbow, he feels me slipping away, he goes K-cent. I grab here or here. I like this. Right, and I walk away. First I walk away, then I walk towards him. I'm going, he feels it, K-cent, he doesn't like it, I walk away. Back. Whoop.
What about for no gi? You have no collar to grab. What about for no gi? You have no collar to grab.
Honestly, if I was in no gi, you could still choke there. I can still paper cutter with no gi. But I'll just watch. Here, I'll do it. I go here, I'm gonna grab right here. And I'm gonna grab this. I might even be nasty and do this. Grab his shoulder, come down. Cool? Don't be fooled by gi. 1, 2. So a lot of times when we do moves in jiu-jitsu, we try to go one way to get them thinking something, and then we go the other way, right? I would call that, just me, I call that A, B. Move A, move B. I'm gonna move A to make you think I'm gonna Kimura you, and I'm gonna B, hip bump you, right? Well, in this scenario, this will happen as well. It's very common, and this is what I usually end up doing against somebody that's, you know, pretty skilled. This is what'll happen. So I'll start to ghost, and he'll go K-center. And I'll grab his waist, and I'll start to go, and he comes back the other way. Now I ghost. A, B, A. Happens a lot. Because his reflexes and his spidey senses are going off. He doesn't like what's happening. I'm disappearing, he goes K. I close waist and start going this way. He doesn't like it. Now I come back to the ghost. 1, 2.